District babies are the best babies.
The district? The Central?
Can we talk about the South End got the most culture?
And how we came up with the gigs dance?
But West Seattle really got the gigger team.
This is Seattle from the inside out.
From the inside out.
Hi everyone, welcome to Youth Insider Podcast from the Inside Out. This is Youth Action Team, and today we're going to be talking about ourselves for you guys to get to know us. I'm Sudi.
I'm Ajalu.
I'm Miracle.
I'm Franco.
And I'm Danelle.
Sponsored by Southeast Network. Without them, this wouldn't be possible. Today, our special guests are Miss Smarty and Miss Tanisha. But before we get into that, we're going to be asking some questions for you guys to get to know us a little more better. So I'm going to start. I'm Sudi. I go to Rainier Beach High School. I'm a senior. I do Running Star at Seattle Central. It's my second year, and I'm one of your hosts.
It was good, Seattle. My name is Ajalu. I'm a freshman at Eastern Washington University, born and raised in West Seattle in the Central District neighborhoods. I'm one of your podcast hosts.
It's good 206. My name is Miracle. I attend the University of Washington as a freshman, and I'm from the South End, and I'm another host of yours.
What's going on, you guys? My name's Franco. I'm a senior at Beach. I'm committed to play football at Fresno State. Born and raised in the South End, and well, not born there, but in my role, I'll be your host for the podcast.
They saved the best for last. I'm Danelle. I go to Evergreen High School. I'm in 12th grade. Born and raised in South Seattle. And, I'm the podcast. Podcast program director.
So starting off, we're going to start with 2 truths and a lie. So I'm going to start. So I'm going to give you guys 3 things, and you guys have to guess which 2 are the truth and which one is a lie. Okay. I was born in Seattle. I went to school in Tequila, and I went to Beach sophomore year.
I don't think she was born in Seattle, but I don't know.
I think
You
I
went
know
to
this
Beach
one.
sophomore year?
Nah, I think you transferred in the freshman year.
Right, I don't think you went to Beach sophomore year.
No, she did. No, you wasn't born in Seattle.
You wasn't.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's you weren't born in Seattle.
Yep, I wasn't.
I'm filthy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where were you born?
Farmland. It's like, yeah, my mom, she was out there visiting.
Right.
And, like, all my sisters were born at Swedish, except for me, because, they didn't make it back on time. So, yeah. But, yeah, Ajala.
I feel it. All right, so my 3 are, so 1, I have more Air Forces than any other shoe in my closet. I met Obama. I played a pickup game with Nate Robinson.
You met Obama is the lie.
Yeah, you never met Obama. But you do have more Air Forces.
I feel like
your other
he
shit.
met Obama because he goes to a lot of events.
You played a pickup game with Nate Robinson.
No, because Nate plays with just everywhere.
Yeah, that's what I was.
He does play with
I don't know.
everyone.
I don't know which one.
He's always in the neighborhood.
I don't think you met Obama.
All right, so the lie is I played a pickup game with Nate Robinson.
When did you meet Obama?
So no. All right, let me explain. So I met Obama. I think it was either the beginning of my junior year or end of sophomore year. I know it was in the spring. And then so Anthony Shoecraft, if you guys know, he took me down to the NBK conference, which is my brother's keeper conference, which is the Obama Initiative. And so we were all in this room, and it's like full of youth. So it's like people between the ages like 18 and like, I'll say like 25 was like the oldest person. And so we're just in the room. I'm talking to these people from like Detroit, Compton, New York, all these different cities. And then all of a sudden, like 10, 15, like Secret Service people come. But because there's politicians like everywhere because it's the Obama conference, we're thinking like it's like another mayor or like governor or something. Then I see like 2 big ears. Then I look over and it's Obama. So I was like, we all got to meet him, got to talk to him for like 2-3 minutes each, which was pretty cool.
That's cool. Who'd you go with to the conference?
With Anthony Shoecraft. So with the city of Seattle, and that's actually where I met Tanisha as well.
That's cool.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so me, so one, I played basketball. Two, all right, two, I make music. And three, I am good at writing emails.
Ooh. That third one's kind of questionable the way she said it.
No, because she is good at writing emails, typing emails.
When you say you play basketball, like
I
for
feel
a
like
team,
Miracle
or
is
just
good at.
play?
She told me that before.
I just played, for a team.
For a team, you do not play.
Yeah,
for
you
a
never
team.
played. You
Yeah.
wanted
You
to
just
play.
be in the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You be working out.
That's the lie. Cause she is good at. I know.
But you could hoop.
Yeah, I trained for basketball freshman year, and then I had an incident occur where I couldn't continue, playing, and so I just decided not to play. And also, I just focused on my academics and just getting that on point. So yeah, I never played basketball, but yeah,
It's my turn.
no. It's Franco's turn. My bad. I don't know why I looked at you.
I know. You had looked at me. I was finna go too.
Because I was
Go ahead,
thinking about the
Franco.
flow.
I've lived in West Seattle before.
You see your dollar's face. Your dollar's face. He said, I know who be in West Seattle.
I lived in West Seattle before. I've only played 1 year of football in high school, 1 full year, and my favorite drink is water.
I think it's a West Seattle one. No, I have reasoning. So,
Okay, okay.
you've been injured before, but I don't know how many times, right, for football?
I only got hurt once for
Once.
football.
Oh, so it's probably the football one then.
Yeah, I think it was the football one.
I don't think you like water.
Well, football, I actually did only play 1 full year, and then I had to live in West Seattle.
Oh, so it's the water?
Oh,
Do you
can't
not like-
relate. That's all I
I
drink is
love
water.
water too.
I love water too, but it's not my favorite drink.
Why'd you only play 1 year?
Cause going into my freshman year, I got into an incident where it kept me away from the sport. I got to play basketball, but as far as football, I couldn't play. I tried, but my injury it was reoccurring. So sat out sophomore year. I played my full year. Junior year, I tore my my MCL and kept me out the whole year. And then this year, Corona's pushing everything back to the spring. So I'm gonna forego my senior year.
What is your favorite drink?
My favorite drink, Sprite.
Sprite? Okay.
Really?
Do you guys know that Sprite can help you when you're feeling nauseous?
I thought it's ginger ale.
That's
That too,
7 Up?
and it can help when your
I
stomach
thought it
is
was
upset.
7-Up.
I feel like it's all of them.
Yeah.
But not like Coke and Pepsi. It's too sugary.
Now is it my turn?
Yeah.
Yep.
I graduate high school in May 2021. I'm getting a new puppy this month, and I'm a very quiet person in person.
You're getting a new puppy is a lie.
Nah, I know the lie.
You know the lie?
You graduate in June because you said
Yeah,
that.
so
You
I
told
was
me that
like,
last time we
you
talked about it.
Dang.
Don't you graduate in June?
May's
Not
kinda
May,
early.
right?
Dang, why you guys get mine so quickly? You guys
Oh, that was
I just remember you said you graduated in June.
And
did
then
graduate
I
in
know
June.
that school district, they don't be graduating early like that. It'd only be private schools. And,
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I thought she would.
I am
do
getting a new
something
puppy this month. This week, actually.
What
Okay.
kind?
I don't know yet. Really. No, I know what it looks like. I just don't know, the breed. It's a mixed breed.
Got you.
What does it look like? Is it tiny
It's-
or big?
No, it's a tiny one. It's only gonna get to 25 pounds.
Do you know if it's a girl or a boy?
It's a girl.
Girl dogs are smarter.
Okay, so that sums up the 2 truths and a lie. Next, we're gonna be asking what are some of our hobbies. So for me, I like to travel. I like shopping, hanging with my friends, working out sometimes, hiking. Yeah. So that's what I usually do on my free time if I got free time. So yeah.
For me, I like playing basketball, like just for fun. I don't play organized basketball anymore. I play video games. Computer programming is like it's not a new hobby, but a hobby I'm like more invested in now. And then I be in my community.
Cool. I just be like chilling. Hobbies of mine, I like to drive. I like to cook. See other hobbies. Spending time with my family. I'm trying to get into hiking, but then I can't go by myself, so that's probably not gonna work out. But yeah.
Remember last time all of us went hiking?
Yeah,
That 1 mile hike.
Yeah. If I seem like off, it's because I got a ticket not so long ago, so.
But you like driving still.
No, it was a light camera,
10
turning
minutes ago.
ticket.
Maybe getting you.
It was just a little.
What do you like cooking?
Not that long ago.
Let's see, chicken. I like cooking. Not greens. Yeah, I like chicken and stuff, and I learned how to make gumbo, so that's bomb. Yeah.
Like fried chicken or like baked chicken, or does it matter?
It don't matter.
That's your specialty?
I like chicken. Yeah.
Yep.
I say hobbies for me. I like hanging out with my family. Hanging out by myself, like a big one. Listening to music, like when I'm alone, I probably work out or
Football?
Nah, not even football. I wouldn't even call that a hobby. I say like studying, but it's not always school though. Like I just study like a lot of stuff, and then
So like learning, you just like learning about different things.
the main thing I be trying to learn is how to make money. I'm not gonna lie, cause I feel like if there's so many incomes, why limit yourself? If you can have all these incomes, you should be able to know how to make money everywhere. So.
Is there like a specific like strategy or like source of income you've been studying recently?
I'm not gonna lie, the one that like appealed the most to me, it was like an exotic rental car company. Like you could own your own business, huh?
Like Turo.
Toro.
It's like basically this like rental company, like where basically people can rent out their cars to people who make money off of it.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much like
like
it's like a car paying for itself pretty much. So you put down money on the car and then you rent it out and then the car basically pays for itself. And then you own the car and then you could keep making money. It's kind of like you could do this, but people do the same thing with houses too. But the car thing is just a nice car. So
Yeah, I saw a kid from Bellevue. He became a millionaire when he started doing when he was under 18. And he did the exotic car rental because he owned like some foreign car, and then people asked to borrow it, and then he just started charging people, and then he did it on a website. I know he would post it on Craigslist like $500 a day or something, and then he had his family invest in him, and then he created a big business, and it was in Bellevue. But then he went to college, so he like sold it for millions, I've heard. So yeah.
Do you guys know how that works with like insurance and stuff?
I don't know.
I'm like super curious.
Oh yeah, you charge them extra to like cover, like if they do something wrong in their or mess something up in your car, then you charge them for that.
Yeah.
You gotta pay for it or extra.
but to start off, I don't even think you need like no business license or nothing. Like it'd be like pretty much like you going to go put money down on a home and then rent it out to somebody. They pay it off and then
Yeah.
but like property stuff, equity, rates on houses and stuff, like all that.
Yeah. What about you?
And then walks, last one.
Sorry.
My hobbies?
Yeah.
Probably my favorite hobby is making money. That's really all I really be up to. I'll go to school, then I'll go to work, and then like go home, figure out how to do some homework and figure out how to make more money. That's really what I be doing, or like just ways to like It's been just learning because I'm going to school for my business license, business management. So I just don't like working for people. So just ways to like start a business and everything. Probably what I like doing the most.
That's what you'd be doing on your free time too?
Yeah.
Always on the
Making money.
grind?
No,
Heard
serious.
you.
Serious, for real.
Heard you. So say you already had all the money, like all the money in the world, like, or, you know, you were satisfied. What would you be doing?
Figuring out how to get more money. What do you mean? That's always going to be my plan. To make sure everything's good around me.
Is there anything specific that you like do with the money, or like you just like making a lot of money?
Or just, I want to, okay, because you know how it'd be like this. In my like whole entire childhood life, I was never like, you know, able to, you know, have money, or my parents were never like, you know, able to give me what I want. So got to the age where I was finally able to start doing my own thing, start making my own money, and I just never want to be without money in my pocket. So
Right.
that's why I'm just going to make sure that's not going to happen again. I always put myself, like, doing more things, put myself to work.
Put yourself in position to win.
That's good.
So getting back to like the youth action team, and not exactly what the youth action team is yet, but like kind of more of like who we are. Like we're from Seattle, right? And I believe everybody at the table is from Seattle. So growing up in Seattle, what's your guys' like favorite thing about Seattle? What do you love about Seattle?
Well, for me, I really liked how diverse it was and how I got to experience like other people's cultures and just meet different kinds of people and, you know, just be open to seeing how other people work as well. Because I feel like it's a good thing to have for life in general. Because when you meet people, you could just get along and socialize normally with everyone.
Yeah, for me, the two areas I predominantly grew up in were the Central District and West Seattle. What I like about West Seattle is like, you know, it's like its own city. So like really, if you like live in West Seattle, there's like no reason to like really be in the Central District, South Seattle, or anything. Like unless you're like going downtown or something. But like we have our own bridge for that too.
Yeah.
And then so I don't know, it's its own city. It's like pretty big. And so for me growing up, West Seattle is like divided into like 3 different areas. So you have like West Seattle, which is like Alki and all that, and then you have like Del Ridge, High Point, and Highland Park, just like near like White Center. So it's pretty cool. Growing up in the Central District, it was pretty compact, but at the same time, like everything's like close to each other. So it's like you're never like more than like 3 blocks away from a park, a corner store, or whatever the case may be. And, you know, there's always something happening because it's like East Seattle. Like, I don't know, it's like really close to downtown, but it's also close to Southeast Seattle, which is the South End. So it's like, there's always something happening.
Was that good? Or?
Yeah. There's always something happening that's positive, you know, always something to do, always an activity. It's always live.
That's dope. Okay. Well, I grew up in the South End, so, you know, my highlights were just, you know, going to the games at Rainier Beach and pretty much growing up in the Rainier Beach neighborhoods. I would always be dragged to community events and just different stuff going on in the community. I feel the words, sorry. But another thing that I like is just how we all pretty much know each other, and we were just raised in such, like, I guess, deep culture. So we have a lot of talent, and it looks different for different people, like whether it's sports or music. Like, we're pretty much just talented coming from the South End. Just want to put that out there, but yeah, that's what I like, just the culture and experiences.
My favorite part about Seattle, I say, would have to be like the diversity, like with all the relationships I've built with like people, and just like connecting with different groups of people. Like I never would have thought I'd appeal to or anything like that. The rain is like one of the best parts. Like it's relaxing to me. I feel like it'll keep you in the house. Like I don't know, just for me the rain's relaxing. I like just chilling and just hearing the rain fall. the Seattle culture, like as far as like the dancing and stuff, that stuff's dope. It's funny. It's always live. And then like about my neighborhood, I just love how like how everybody knows each other, and like Seattle may not support Seattle all the way. Like everybody don't support each other, but like people definitely motivate each other. Like I done seen a lot of people like come out of my neighborhood that like aspired me to be like not necessarily like them, but follow in their footsteps and make a name for myself. Cause I feel like if they could do it, I could do it too. So just that. Cause there's a lot of talented people that have done a lot of things, like from fighting to music to sports, TV talk shows, like all that. So, yeah.
I was raised in the South End too, and okay. I mean, I was bad. That's what it is, and it was always fun. Like we was always doing something. It was just we was always in the streets. I'm not gonna say that that's good or anything, but I just know that like we would like the streets were always fun to me. And like right there where let me name some state. Right there I'll be at Othello or Skyway right there on that big old hill. Mm-hmm. But mostly Othello Corner in that house on the corner right there by Othello Park. It was just always like everybody coming to the house, like neighbors went always. Is Danelle there? No, I'm not. First of all, I don't want to come outside. That was always my answer, and then I'll go hang out by myself, like go do something else. So it was just like I like how like people always like was like not friendly, but you know they knew each other, and it was always some type of culture around me. Like I didn't grow up like not knowing, you know, where my people came from, or like it was always like very like, you know, we were always very into like black culture in general. So it's just like I'm just glad that I got to, you know, grow up in where people are just like me, and like I get to know like the deep information about us. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me, and that's why.
Yeah, to add on, another thing I like about Seattle or love about Seattle is like how innovative and collective we are. Because at the end of the day, I know like a lot of us come from like different neighborhoods, and I'm speaking for like people outside of the youth action team. But at the end of the day, if like the South End struggling with something, the city's struggling with something, West Seattle struggling with something, like the city comes together and like supports each other with whatever the movement may be or whatever we're struggling with. So,
Facts.
So we got a whole bunch of bodies of water too. I'm not gonna lie, like a lot.
Yeah, we definitely got the best water. Washington has the best water out of all, because I've tried some terrible water.
I know. Yeah. I heard in like the South and stuff, my cousin, she used to live out there. She said this water come out like milky, like white. And she said when she showered at my house when she came to visit, she was like, "Oh, it felt so much better." I was like, "It's just water."
Right.
But yeah. So moving on from that, what are some of your guys' goals? I know for me, I'm just focusing on graduating so I could, you know, go to a 4-year college, wherever that may be, hopefully somewhere in Cali, and just, you know, get my degree, do the job that I want to do, something around real estate or management. So yeah, that's my main goal, you know, just to make my family proud. So yep.
For me, I guess a short-term goal is just to be successful in school right now, attain my degree. A long-term goal is, I don't know, like when I say like rewriting the narrative like of Seattle, it's like not, it seems like a pretty big like task, but I don't mean like, you know, everything about Seattle, but like really, you know, bringing more attention to what goes on in Seattle and King County. So like Washington as a state, and really, you know, letting the world know that we're here too. And then another goal is just making sure my family's straight, you know, even when I'm here and then when I'm not here.
Nice. For me, my goal, I want to be a pediatric orthopedic surgeon. And that was inspired by my own doctor after I got surgery. Like, at first, I always knew I wanted to be a doctor, like, since probably, like, middle school, 6th grade. And then I knew I liked kids. So, like, as I was getting older, I was, like, trying to, like, really, like, narrow down what I am trying to be. And then, like, after I had got shot or whatever, that's when I figured out, or I was exposed to, like, different, occupations. So my surgeon, he was like, why don't you consider being, a pediatric orthopedic surgeon? And I'm like, what's that? And he told me, he was like, yeah, there's not many, like, people of color in this industry and all this and that. And I'm like, I still want to be a pediatrician. But then, like, my 1 year anniversary of, like, when I got shot, I had my last appointment. And that's when I decided that I want to pursue, the career field of being a surgeon, just like my doctor. And then, yeah, that's pretty much my goal. I want to be a doctor. I use my outlet for music to, like, just stay grounded and, like, just make it through, like, the different levels and seasons of my life. And that's something, like, I can have fun with. And who knows, it might pay for my med school. But yeah, so I use that as an outlet. And some, like, right now goals I have is to try to, like, find a balance between my academic and social life. Because that gets challenging every time I get, into a different level of schooling. But yeah, those are my goals.
My goals, I want to be a professional athlete. That's, like, really my goal right now, because I got a chance to do something like that. So I just feel like I got to take my chance. And like, other goals I got, like, mini goals. Like, I want to have a family one day, and yeah. But I can't talk about how I'm working to get that. So how I'm working to get my school. I gotta make sure I'm on point with my grades. And then today, I just got my form to, like, pick out what I want to major in. So I was like, whoa, who would have thought I would pick my major one day? But, like, yeah, it just means a lot. Cause I know that could, like, doing that'll set me up and my family up. And, like, it just means a lot to me, cause, like, I don't know, like, being the first boy in my family to go to college, like, that would mean a lot to me and my family. And then, yeah.
What about, like, you know how a lot of people who say they want to go to the league and stuff always have backup plans? How do you feel about that?
I mean, I feel like, it is smart to always have a backup plan, but I mean, at the same time, I never really, like, made one up or thought about one. Me personally, I feel like if you got a plan B, you don't believe in your plan A enough. But I don't know, that's me. I know you always gotta have something to fall back on, but if you think, like, anything in life, like, let's say, like, you wanted to do something, but you had something to fall back on, were you really all the way committed to that? Like, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like if I want to go this way, I gotta go this way. I can't think about that way right now. I gotta focus on what's ahead of me. So.
That's good. Thanks.
Oh, okay. Some goals. Probably. Well, one, I know I'm gonna graduate high school, and add on what Franco said, like, being the first person to go to college is a big thing to specifically my brother Savon. Like, he's all big about how my brother Dede went to high school. He was one of the first to graduate high school, and how that I should bring, like, the next step forward. So just, like, I'm not gonna lie, proving him wrong will feel so good. Like, it would just feel so amazing. So that's one of my biggest goals, is just going to college, not one for my family, but for myself, because I know I want to go for business management, because I like it's like I like making money, but I just want to work for myself. Like I want to have my own business, my own, my own everything. So that's probably what my biggest goals are for the meantime.
So, moving on from that, who played a big role in who you are today? So, me, I feel like my mom, because she taught me all the ways to succeed, just and also being a good person in general, how to treat other people. She never controlled what I did. She always like let me do what I wanted to do, and just guided me through like the right path. And yeah, she just inspires me a lot, and she always wants us to do better than her and everything. So whenever she would, help me in school, she just always only wanted the best for me and wanted me to benefit myself. So yeah.
Thank you. For me, I just say like both of my parents, my mom like earlier in my life and my dad like more recently, like they both taught me that like, just like to be proud of like who you are like as a person, but then also like don't step down like no matter who you're talking to. So if you're talking to like the CEO of like a Fortune 500 company, like just know your worth and know that you can hold their position too, or even, be ahead of them at some point in your life as well. I don't know. Another thing they instilled in me was like pride too. And they did that just like through living in Seattle. Like they'll like raising me, they'll just be like, "You're from Seattle. Like remember that." And I'm like, "Okay, whatever." But then you're from Seattle. Like nobody could take that from you, and you could just take that how you want it. But that's just something that stuck with me growing up.
That's real. For me, I feel like definitely my parents played a huge role in who I am today. My family just grown up with huge support. Like, when the funk go down, they ready to ride all the time, ready to slide. But yeah.
Oh my God, that song just replayed in my head over and over
I was really about to, when the funk really go down.
Oh my God.
But yeah, that's their theme song for sure. But yeah, they just instill great like just morals in who I am. Like I hold my head high everywhere I go, and like I'm not only book smart, I'm street smart too. So like I'm street equipped, everything. So they have me on point, lace me right, and I feel like, they definitely put in, the saying, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So like that's what I do. I stand for what I believe in, and for sure, my mom taught me to depend on God when everything's going bad. Like when there's nobody else you could talk to, just talk to Jesus. So like. Yeah, I just learned to depend on God and put Him first in everything I do, and that's how I am successful in everything I'm doing because of God, for sure.
For me, I'd have to say my mom for sure, because that's who made me, of course. So she deserves all the glory, and glory to God, of course. But like, my mom can't really teach me how to be a man at the same time. She could try to play the father role, but, like, I need to be, like, around, like, a man, like a father figure. So my mom, like, she played a big role in, like, me, like, just learning how to, like, be my own person and not let nothing get to me, like, not let words or nothing like that get to me, and just, like, knowing who I am. Like, I don't gotta prove nothing. And then, like, who really, like, my big cousin, just seeing him, like, go through a bunch of adversity and, like, a lot of stuff, like, just seeing how he stayed down and handle what he had to do, and, like, watching him fight cases and stuff like that, and just seeing him, like, I feel like as a man, it's not about, like, where you're at right now or like how you are when you're comfortable, but like when you're back against the wall and you're going against tough times, it's like how you respond. And just seeing him bounce back and come back home and just handle it how he handled it, and him having a family owning the house, like just seeing that, like, okay, you could do it too. So yeah, And it's not, and like, even like him, he was going through a bunch of stuff. Like, one thing like we would talk about, he's like, it's not really about what you do, it's about how you do it though, in a lot of situations. So, not saying do anything negative, but just saying like, you know, just watching him turn nothing into something.
Thanks.
For me, probably just my family in general, and then like to be more specific, my mom Reese, which is my grandma, and my brother Savon. It's because, well, it was like, cause they're like kind of like salt and sugar put together, you know, like if it was a mixture. So my grandma, she's always like handles things like nicely, and she's like, oh, you can do, like she motivates me to do better in a way. Although like my brother was like, he uses himself as an example, like, and like pushes me up to be forward. But he know it's like hard love, like it's tough love. And so he's hard on me, but I know it's like he only wants the best for me. So it's just like, I think those are the two people that push me the most. And then my mom. My mom is just like someone that like just is there for like, no matter what I would need, like anything I can talk about, any questions I need, just go to my mom about and how to do things in life. So those are three people that probably like just made me to the person I am today.
All right, so getting back to the youth action team and like us as a whole, we're gonna bring on our two guests, Miss Marty and Tanisha. All right, so how are you guys doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm cooling, you know. I'm cooling.
Doing well.
Oh, well, got it. So today we're going to be discussing the youth action team, and given that you guys, you know, you guys started the youth action team, right? Or you were like the first cohort?
Tanisha was
was?
the first cohort, and I started it.
Mm-hmm. So can you guys tell us a little bit about like the youth action team, what you guys have like done in the past?
Well, I'll tell you this. Youth Action Team was created. So I'm the Southeast Network Executive Director. You guys know that. We're going to make sure the viewers know. For the Boys and over here at the Boys and Girls Club. Our program, Southeast Network Safety Net, part of our main mission is to support the most vulnerable and the most marginalized young people in Southeast Seattle. And so our focus and our target population of young people and young adults, it is in South Seattle. Now, I grew up and was raised in South Seattle, graduate of Rainier Beach High School in 1993. Go Vikings.
Go Vikings.
And came back to work in the neighborhood. I'm gonna let Tanisha also speak because she has a similar story. However, part of like really creating this was initially through the Seattle Youth Violence Prevention Initiative, and we were considered the Southeast Network Hub. Now, we still are the hub, and then historically, Rainier Vista Boys and Girls Club has been the hub in Southeast for a while. And so part of our efforts in like really creating support, filling gaps, whether it's in education, a lot of it is working with young people who are court involved, who are, like I said, the most vulnerable, the most marginalized, and then creating opportunities for young people. Part of this leadership group, it was very intentional because of the work we were doing for us to have youth voice. In order for us to have youth voice, we didn't want to get the kids who were getting the 4.0s and who were already involved in their neighborhood. We wanted the kids who we were already serving, the kids who actually are those kids who aren't impacted, right? Impacted by racial inequities, impacted by a lot of the under-resourced schools in Southeast specifically. But a lot of what's happening in terms of like the institutions that we work or that young people are engaged in, and we obviously have to work in, right? The whole system of institutionalized racism, part of that is us looking at the young people who are impacted by that. So if I'm asking someone about, let's just say, crime, right? And I'm wondering, okay, a lot of the kids now in the back, you know, when we first started, and that was like 2008, 2009, kids were, there were a lot of residential burglaries, right? Hitting house licks. And so we trying to figure out why are all the kids hitting house licks? Because back, you know, when I was in school, that's not what people were doing. They were selling dope. But it switched, right? Crack cocaine era was around the 90s when I grew up. So looking at younger people around, like kids who were born around, like, let's just say like 91, 92, 93, a lot of those young people who we serve trying to figure out, okay, why are kids doing that now, right? And so in order to find out, who do you ask? You ask the kids who are doing it, right? So part of Youth Action Team, that's the philosophy around it. We're asking the young people who are directly impacted, whether it's by youth violence, whether it's by poverty, whether it's by lack of resources in your neighborhood or even for your families. Those are the young people that we want to hear from, and that is the leadership that we need in order to inform our work. And so a big piece of that was why we created that. And in doing that and really picking the kids, we handpicked 10 kids out of 400. And those kids we handpicked were the kids who just presented themselves. Like basically you serve whoever needs the help at the time. And all of the young people who we were serving around that time, it really, and there's different things. So everybody is not like involved in court involved. Everybody is not just, there's a lot of different reasons why young people need support. And there's a lot of different things that young people are engaged in, whatever risky behavior that might be, who need like a voice in what's going on. And so Tanisha actually was a part of the first cohort. She was handpicked by me. No, but seriously, just because of her, growing up in the Rainier Beach neighborhood, growing up in the South. And again, we've always served Southeast kids. And I'm gonna let her tell her own story, but that's really the Youth Action Team became the youth voice for Southeast Network Safety Net, and it has been since 2011 is when the Youth Action Team started. Since then, Youth Action Team has done the first mayoral candidate forum, done here right at Rainier Vista Boys and Girls Club, and it was done back in 2000, and I think that was 14, when, Mayor McGinn, I believe, was the mayor at the time. But there was, re-elections at that time. And when I say our Youth Action Team moderated it, they hosted in terms of like the hospitality pieces from the time people walked in the door. It was all young people who ran the entire event. And so we're really proud in that we understand, or at least I understand, Tanisha's still young. I understand that I'm not that age anymore and that things are different with young people, and it's going to take us creating a platform for our young people to have a voice so that they can inform us and let us know what they need. Because at the end of the day, our kids are brilliant and they know what they need. And at the end of the day, really, it's you asking. All we had to do was really ask. Instead of making assumptions around what young people need, all you gotta do is ask young people. They'll tell you exactly what they need. They'll tell you what resolutions will help to stop some of what's happening just in terms of like violence and other things in our neighborhood. So Tanisha, and she was the president, y'all, of Youth Action Team back then. So I'm gonna let her kind of speak to her role.
Well, mine's gonna be as elaborate. But yeah, so I was a part of the first cohort of the Youth Action Team. We did have our roles similar to you guys's. So I was the president. So I had to facilitate meetings and stuff like that. And it kind of just brought out the leadership tendencies in me. Had to present at events, which I hated at the time, but had to do it anyway. And it kind of just like, it altered the way that I viewed certain things by like, okay, yeah, it's okay to be nervous, but just doing it anyway. Which I'm actually a little nervous right now. I don't know why. I'm like just talking in front of y'all. But yeah, and it really taught me a lot. We did the mayoral candidate forum. We went on college tours. We got to do a lot of leadership things in the community, and it kind of really created this like idea of like, okay, once I go to college and I come back, like I want to be present in my community, and my community being the Rainier Beach community, again, alumni, graduate, go Vikings. Went to Aki, Whitworth, Aki, Rainier Beach, so kind of just a South End kid through and through. My siblings went to Rainier Beach, like just really proud of being a Viking. And so now that I'm back, we started the Youth Action Team back up, took like a little short break, and then just, watching you guys grow has been amazing, seeing the things that you guys go to your full potential, and grow and like go from Keystone Youth Action Team, has just been amazing. And yeah, That's all I got.
Okay. So going back to like the first cohort of youth action team and looking, I don't want to say years, but 11, 12 years. 11
years,
yeah,
okay.
11, 12 years later, right? So what's different about your community? So like South Seattle specifically, and what's like different but also like similar and essentially like the same in the South Seattle community and also youth action team?
Well, for me, I'm getting to see it from a different viewpoint. Then I was a young leader. Now I'm a young adult leader, and the viewpoint is kind of just it's different. You see the differences in organizations. You see the differences in the way people move. You see the way the violence in the community. It has felt like the violence in the community has slowed down more with the presence of safe passage, with the presence of certain programs that have been in the community. For me personally, what you think?
I would say, so I'm going to base it off of not like when I was in school, but more so like when I started here at Rainier Vista in 2010. And I'm going to base it on the kids that I've served between then and now. I think trends have changed in terms of what motivates young people in terms of, and I mean more like incentive-wise, being out in the streets. And the young people back then, I remember them being about their money. If there was something violent that occurred, somebody robbed somebody for something. And not to validate, the violence that happened as a result of it, but I think that the values that young people had then, there was still rules. There was still a code. And that code was violated often, but I'm saying like, I look at the young people now, and just kind of more around your generation, and there's a lack of like motivation. And then the other thing, like I think that changed a lot of these, and then probably informed some of these trends, social media. So like we didn't have social media stuff like that. Like the generation then, they were just, I think they had MySpace. Like MySpace was popular, but nothing like what it is now. Like social media now, you got virtual gangsters, you got virtual hustlers, like you got a whole lot of virtual, right? And you could be whoever you want online. See, and back when we had the younger kids who are now like 26 through maybe 30 now, right? Those young people didn't really have that as a platform, really. Like they were on there, but they were on there, I don't know, dating or trying to holler at each other. But it wasn't necessarily like beefing happening in that way. They were still beefing in person. So like it takes you a while to get somewhere, right? To go and meet up with somebody. With social media, it's a lot quicker. Like you know where people are getting set up more. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you're able to do things that there's more access than there was, let's say, with the kids that are a lot that are older now, who we used to serve. And so I think some of those things have changed. Motivation, I feel like this generation isn't as motivated to work. Like we've had kids, you give them something to eat, come get a job, and the job's not like a laborious job, right? We're paying you for your intellectual property, but you still don't show up. Right? And so there's a lot of that kind of stuff where I don't see like a hunger as much as there was with like some of the older generation of kids. Other than that, I think just trends changing in terms of like, I think violence is a lot bolder. I think that young people, I don't know, it just feels like our young people now feel like they have nothing to lose. And so they're willing to do more, except when they get caught. Yeah. When they get caught, all of a sudden they're kids again. Yeah. And so I've seen a lot of that where you kids is about to cry when they go to the big boy jail. And so there's just that, I think, in terms of just values, maturity is a little different now. And I think you guys are like a big exception to other, like, to your generation. And not to say, we still have a lot of young, brilliant young people. But in terms of just like motivation, like everything you guys mentioned around what your short and long-term goals are, it's aspirational. And so I think it's good to have you guys, even for this, podcast, and have you guys have other young people have access and be able to see what's going on in the town in Seattle, right? And know that there are young people here who are motivated, who are inspired, and who are ready to inspire. And so I think I'm motivated by it. Like just listening to you guys, I think what's unique about Youth Action Team as well is we authentically want you to make some choices. We authentically want you to give your voice, even if, and you guys know there are things that I haven't agreed with, but at the end of the day, if we're gonna be like authentically like give you autonomy and give you power in this particular institution, then it's important that we fall back sometimes and let you guys do what you think is best.
But no, I feel it like from the outside looking in, from like your guys' perspectives and like, speaking on our generation, I agree with like a lot of the points you guys made. Like, I don't know, for me growing up, like I wasn't really on social media until like freshman year of high school. So I have I'm about like 5 years in the game. And so but me, I remember like how I was raised and like how my dad raised me. He didn't teach me, be a gang member or nothing, but there's still like certain rules that we have to like live by, whether you're in that situation or not. Like a weird thing or something I found weird was like when I was looking on social media, like how many fights people were recording. Like me, at least for me, I'm not that old, I'm 18. So I was about to say when I was growing up, but when I'm in when I was in middle school, somebody's getting jumped, or where I have nothing to do with it. Like when somebody's getting jumped, somebody's fighting, you shouldn't be recording, or else we're gonna jump you too. Or that's just hot in general. And then now you see people who think they're like with it, and they might be with it, but then you're snitching on yourself because you're posting your guns, your weapons, X, Y, and Z. And so I feel like I feel like social media has like a heavy influence on that for like our generation especially. And especially like when you hear other people like how they glorify it, and like also how like they praise those people in that situation, that just makes you want to post it, and that makes you feel like you have something to prove. Mm-hmm. And then so I think it's just like, I don't want to say hunger, but for lack of a better word, it's like the hunger for validation. Mm-hmm. And then so, getting back to like South Seattle, where you guys were like raised, like what do you love about your community? What do you love about Rainier Beach?
I'll go first on that one. What do I love about Rainier Beach? Well, one thing I love about Rainier Beach is I feel like you can tell when somebody's from the neighborhood, and they don't really gotta be like, I'm from da 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 da, mm-hmm. And not even on no gang and any stuff or anything like that. It's just more so like, I feel like everybody there is cool, and mainly it's like people don't mess with. No, I was gonna say something and I thought about it, like maybe not. But more so just like the culture. There's like so many different cultures. Like you riding down Rainier, there's so many different cultures. People like from Tacoma, Federal Way, like they're always like, you always see people, in the neighborhood, and it's just like, even with the gentrification, like before the gentrification, it was still beautiful. You're right there by the water. Beersheba, and you got the, it just feels so homey to me, mm-hmm. and like. It's home. It is home, so that's why for me it might feel homey. But it just, I like it. Bottom line.
So all of the things she said, and I think just rich culture, like not and it's really diverse, and I love watching or learning about other cultures. Mm-hmm. But I think the subculture of Rainier Beach residents. Like if you grew up in the neighborhood, you do know who was from the neighborhood and who is not from the neighborhood. And usually the ones who are not, they have to always say they're from the neighborhood. Now we're proud, and then we're also Rainier Beach alumni. So of course, and this has been a long time thing. What's funny is my husband graduated from Garfield. Boo! No, I'm just kidding. I love him, but his school sucks. Okay, I had to say that for my fellow Vikings. But rivalry, it's always been fun. Like as far as it being spirited, the school really matters in the South End. Mm-hmm. So like beach, it's always been one of those things. Even though we're the smallest, I feel like we're the most underfunded, underserved. But I feel like we're the ones. Like we're just the ones. We're more original. We're creative. because we're smaller, it's very family oriented. So there's a lot of families, in addition to mine and others, who grew up here. Like we went to school together, elementary, middle, high school, right? And then our families all know each other because there's different generations of us that went to school together. I mean, it's funny. It was my brother's a great Rainier Beach graduate as well, and he went to school with Franco's dad. They actually ran together.
Oh, wait. Who?
Huh?
Who are you talking about? Oh,
So,
oh yeah.
yeah, they ran together. Like, I remember your dad when he was younger. He was a little kid when I was growing up, because I'm older than them guys. And so, like, I remember Rainier Beach Little League. Like, so in thinking about all of these things, right, like, there's a lot of us who went to beach that work together in the community now. Like, you see, she ain't the only one. We got a squad that are all Rainier Beach alum. Kids that come from, and it doesn't mean, right? Like, I know, Azala, you're from a different neighborhood, and it's okay. We brought you in. No, I'm just kidding. No, but at the end of the day, we're all family. I like what Azala said around when something happens, we know how to come together. And so, and I'm talking about CD, South End, West Seattle, don't matter. That's when we become one as a people. And I think that that's beautiful. It's been awesome to see just in like the march we had in the South End, the We Want to Live March. It wasn't just South End, even though it was in the South End and organized by South End folks. We had everybody there. And so that's what I like about our city, or our neighborhood, is what I'm gonna say. And just being able to watch the different generations. So both my kids, my son graduated from Rainier Beach. My daughter just graduated this year. I have a middle schooler and another high schooler. I'm not sure if he's going to graduate from there, but she's definitely graduating. And then I got a grandson who's 8. So you see the generations of this stuff. Like, this is like for real for me. Like, and so when I work doing this stuff, it's not just a job. Like, for me, it is like, this is a part of my family. This is a part of my life. This is a ministry for me. And so it just makes me that much more passionate about working with young people, working in the neighborhood. Therefore, you know, there's always 110, 20% effort put in because of that.
Oh, something else, one last thing. You know how, like, they say, like, if you don't have haters, you're not doing it right? The idea of, like, when you're like, what school did you go to? People are like, oh, I went to Franklin. Be like, oh, I went to Beach. And they're like, It's like, dang,
Right.
You don't even know me or my school. So that's another thing. It's like that idea of, like, you're hating, you don't even know. Like,
Right.
really.
To add on like what both of you guys said, like if you're from the community, you know when somebody's not like in the community. I just feel like if you're from the community, you know that Rainier Beach means everything to the community. Like Rainier, like it might even be sad to say it might be the only thing holding the community together right now. Like it's like one of the last things. Like, but just growing up in the South End, like seeing Rainier Beach, seeing everybody outside how it used to be, like Rainier Beach was everything to me. I knew about it before I was going there. So
I also want to add on, you mentioned like rivalry and like the school spirit with like schools. How did it look back then? Like Garfield, Franklin, Cleveland, Beach. How did it look back then?
I'll go since I'm older.
Yeah.
And then I want to know what you have to say when you were there. So for us, it was lit for us. We were over there at Franklin putting green oatmeal all over the school. We were at Garfield putting dog poop and bones and food all around the school every time for homecoming. And then also at the end of the year when we had Viking Day. And so this is when we were playing. So this was usually during football season. And we were getting ready to play, because we usually would play. So we would always play Cleveland for some reason. I think because we knew we were going to win for homecoming. But all the big games were Garfield and Franklin. Now Garfield was they was all right at football, but it really was Franklin. Franklin was the football school, and Garfield was more basketball. And so back when I was in school, that was the 90s. And so but for Spirit Week, that's the kind of stuff we used to do. Like we really would at nighttime go to their school and do a bunch of stuff and put a bunch of toilet paper and all this. Like, don't do this, you guys. You might get suspended, so don't be taking this and running with it. This is just what we used to do when I was in school.
Okay, yeah, we didn't do that for sure, but we didn't actually play Garfield. when I went there, because Garfield was 4A and we were 3A, they just went back down to 3A. So ours was really Franklin and Cleveland, but those were always the most packed games. And the thing was our football team wasn't different. It was different because our football team wasn't the big team. It was more of our basketball team. So the basketball team, like, every game was sold out. You know, you couldn't even get into the gym. People were standing outside the gym watching the games because, you know, we were champs, like I want to say 3 years in a row. Again, go Vikings. But, so, yeah, but it was really dope, like a dope environment because back to that whole, like, we're the most underfunded, you know, underrepresented population in just the school district in general. And then it's like, okay, but we do have, you know, some events or some things that we can, you know, really just be ourselves and like go above and beyond, you know, from wearing the orange and blue and white tutus and then I played soccer. So like all of the soccer people and the cheerleaders, we would all like wear these long socks and like everything from head to toe would be orange and blue. And you got like people with orange pieces of hair and stuff, just not as crazy as you guys for sure, but just that school spirit.
Yeah, well, I'm going to add to the school spirit. So our assemblies were live all the time. So we would have the class competitions, and then we would also have some other kind of like, you know, challenging, or there would be kind of challenges around some things, whether it was a dance competition. We were just rowdier. I think there was just a lot more spirit at the school. I don't know what it's like now before COVID. I've seen a couple assemblies and I was like, I don't know what happened. But we did all the traditional things, you know, homecoming, king, queen. And then we also did it again at the Viking Day. So Viking Day was always like exciting. Like everybody would go to Viking Day. And then, you know, I think there were times we would also try to go to like Quaker Day and one of the other places, you know, Garfield. I don't know. I think Garfield, like, they never let us get in there, I think. But we would crash like their stuff. And then back then, house parties were in. So like we had a lot of house parties like all the time. And so we just had a lot of fun. Like my generation and our era, it was all about fun. It was about partying. It was about having fun without there. Now, you know, obviously there were still some violent incidents that took place, but kind of less around that time. Like high school was really fun, and there was always a party, always a gathering. And then, like I said, like Rainier Beach, we used to have our own turnips, and we used to have our own little parties that, you know, with like our just our people. And so I think just shifting. I don't know. I don't think y'all be having as much fun as we used to have.
Going there, like, you know, the last years or whatever. When I hear all the OGs be telling me it was packed. They're like, you think this is packed? Like, I go to a basketball game, they would be like, shoot, people used to have to get kicked out and couldn't even come into the game. And I was like, oh, what? This is still a lot of people to me at like certain rivalry games. And they're like, no. Like before, I heard like Coach Mike, Miss Thea, she would tell me about like before games how the other schools would do stuff to their buses or their school. Yeah. And I was like, dang, I was like, I wish we could do that. But yeah, I was like, I wish it was that active. I just feel like a lot of people, they just got too much pride, or it's more cliquey, and it's only like if somebody posts, they're like, yep, get it to this. Or sometimes they're like, nah, let's just not go. And some people, they just don't like showing spirit. I don't know what it is, too much pride, or they think they're too good for it, but I don't know. I feel like if we had all that still, like if everybody was into that, it'd be so much fun. Cause hearing you guys, like, I'm like, shoot, I'm trying to have a high school experience like that.
And we had a lot of clubs at Rainier Beach. So like there were a lot of different clubs that I don't know exist now. So there was one, we had like this kind of frat type club called ABA. And they used to like throw all the little parties, but they used to be in the school and they would step. So no, they would like legitimately step, and then like the Kappas would be down there because they would like be helping them with their routines. They'd be a part of all the competitions, more stepping competitions back then, which I don't see as much now. But that's what existed back then, and then dance was big. So
yeah, we had a dance team and the Polynesian club. They would always do their like, you know, their little.
The multicultural is what was a big deal too.
Yeah, and then for our assemblies. They would always like start them with like a dance competition, and I went to school with Shadid, and so they would just all be down there doing the gigs, dance and stuff, and then it would get everybody hyped. And then from there, the whole thing would be. But then I'm not gonna lie, like my senior year, it kind of died down because like I ain't going to assembly.
Yeah, people were skipping them. They're like, that's whack. They're like, let's just go somewhere else. Yeah.
No, I feel that, like, I be talking to my dad all the time. He's a bulldog, though. But, like, he's like, he's born and raised in the Central District and stuff. But it's like, I feel like nowadays, like, everybody's like a square, too. Because it's like, most people, like, we do have, like, purple and white, which is pretty packed. But it's like, it's only packed because the white kids go to Garfield now. But anyways, it's like, it's like, stuff like that's, like, packed. But then it's like, especially, like, I would say, like, in our community, and like in our generation, it's like people don't go to functions unless like somebody else is there.
Yeah.
And it's like, to me, it's like a function. So it doesn't even matter if I want to kick it with that individual, I'll go kick it. But like, if I want to go to a function, I'm gonna go. But like nowadays, people are just like, oh, it's X, Y, and Z going there, or they're not. Okay, I'm not there, which is like hecka weird to me. Yeah. But like also, kind of like not moving outside the South End, still on the South End. I'm not from the South End. When I was raised, I was raised called the South End. Anything south of 23rd and Rainier, that's not your section, especially anything past Franklin. So, I'm speaking for people who aren't from the South End. So, it's like, for someone who's not from the South End, for you to geographically, what is the South End?
Me, growing up, it was really right before Franklin, because we never considered Franklin a part of it.
Right?
What do you call
They're
them?
the center, right?
Yeah, wow. they're like an awkward middle. Like they don't, I don't know. And we just always
they don't
like,
fit in on
there.
either or.
What do you call them? Miracle?
I call them the center.
Yeah.
The gateway, right? To both sides. So they're the center.
To around Skyway.
Okay.
And that was kind of like Skyway was always like for us. It was kind of their own thing too. So it was like Rainier Beach was this beginning, and then right before Franklin was kind of Vista, really like Vista to Rainier Beach High School for us.
Yeah, I'd say Franklin is because I mean Franklin still is, but it's like half of Franklin, right?
Whoa.
Half of Franklin is the South End, right? And then when you get over past like on the other side of McCullough, you're in the city.
Before you get to the
so
track.
half of Franklin is the South End. So from the bridge all the way back to Skyway during my time growing up wasn't the South End yet. It became the South End around like 2000s. 2000s, then it kind of extended because Skyway was still kind of its own neighborhood, but it extended because of gentrification. And then it became a part of the South End like around 2000.
Got you. Okay, so anywhere from Skyway to, and this is debatable, but right when you get to like the Franklin Bridge or like half of Franklin.
Yep.
Like,
so let's say Rainier.
Rainier.
When you get to Rainier where Franklin is, where the bridge is, so that's why I say half of it.
Yeah.
So half of that side of McClellan, and then the other side of McClellan. Once you pass McClellan, you're in the city.
Yeah, that is how it.
District. All right. So moving more towards the youth action team and also this podcast, what kind of inspires you guys to press play on the podcast?
Well, for me, you guys kind of showed leadership in your own leadership qualities in different ways. And so for me, I just really wanted your guys' voices to be heard in whatever way was possible. And then the idea behind the podcast was kind of Marty's idea.
So for me, I just felt like it was time for us to take youth action team to the next level. In order to do that, I knew I had to like come into the times. And podcasts are what's happening right now. And I felt like we needed to take your voice beyond Rainier Vista, beyond the South End, and give you a platform that is worldwide. I felt like people need to hear from you guys. I do think this is a very unique type of podcast. I've looked up podcasts, and most of what I see when it comes to young people, and specifically within our community, right? Like within the Seattle community, it's usually going to be like older adults who are speaking to it, or maybe adults within their 30s or and then up to like my age, right? And I felt like, I could sit here and I could talk about what youth need based on what you all tell me and all the other young people and then my experience around it. But I felt like, they need to hear directly from y'all. Like, I don't want to hear another person my age or even in their 30s talk about youth in Seattle, youth in the South End, youth in the CD, youth in West Seattle. I want to hear you guys talk about it. And so for me as a listener, if I were to be watching, I felt like, no, we're gonna let our young people speak for themselves. We're gonna let you speak for your peers. And that was the motivation around me wanting to have this and taking Youth Action Team to this podcast platform so that you guys could reach other young people your age, but also tell us adults what you need and tell us what it really is, because I think there's a lot of assumptions that are made. And I don't think you guys are asked directly enough.
The last thing, little mini shout out to Kamaria Sims, who played a consulting role in this podcast as well.
Oh, definitely. She definitely helped put this together and gave the step-by-step, what to do in order for this to be successful.
Well, thank you, Miss Marty. Thank you, Tanisha. And thank you, Cam, for being so innovative and thinking of us and really, problem solving. And then, Sudi, how can our viewers and listeners find us?
So currently we have an Instagram. Stay tuned for updates on our podcast, as well as just posts about us in general and what we do and events that we'll be attending that you guys could also join us at. So our @ is SRV Youth Insider on Instagram, so follow that. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you for tuning in.
Guys.
Thank you. Thank you.